For a lot of people who might be having any kind of struggles with sales, and a big topic when it comes to this podcast is trying to overcome what would be sales blocks. Like we feel like energetically we don't even want to do it. We're blocked, and it's something that we can't even open up to. And I feel like the environment could play a big part in that. Are there some things that we could look into, maybe some of the base rules that we could do a quick audit from where we're sitting, where we're listening to this right now, that could be Feng Shui related and could actually be fueling these blocks from happening?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So the first step that we always talk about is how do you position yourself in any place that you're doing your sales. So if it's online sales, probably it's in your office, right? If it's in sales that you're meeting people, so how do you position yourself? So the first rule is what we call the power position. That means you always have to set yourself up that you can see the door of the space that you are in. So right now I'm sitting talking to you. Of course, there's nobody physically here, but you are here and everybody listening and watching is here. So I see the door. So the door is over there, right? So I can see the door literally in my environment. When you do that, your brain opens up and your whole energy goes to the frontal cortex. What that means, you are actually more opening to solutions, to creativity. When you're sitting with your back to the door, you actually like sitting against the wall and with your back to the door, you're actually putting all the energy towards the reptilian brain. And what happens, you start thinking in the past, you start thinking about problems, and you start being more fear-based in your solutions of sales. And also you have to look all the time around you when somebody comes in, even if they're not physically coming in. So that's the first thing, but not just each time you're in your office, but each time you're meeting someone. So always, like I'm sometimes having networking meetings, I always make sure I'm there the first and I position myself. I can see the people coming into the space. If that's a restaurant or a lobby of a hotel or, any conference room I'm in, I always position myself. I call it as the queen or king position. That's the first rule, because your brain waves will change from beta into alpha. And when you're in alpha, you are much more enthusiastic. You come over with much more good vibrations, and your brain is open and clear. So that's the first rule. So that's very easy to practice. I mean, literally, you always be careful and pay attention where you're sitting and standing, right? So that's the first thing.
Well, I'd love to jump into this one, Mary, because I find it so true. And I'm just thinking back at a networking event that I do regularly once a month here in Bali. And it's kind of like a breakfast club. And I sat last time, I actually showed up late because, like you, I usually show up early and I get to put myself in that kind of position. And I feel more relaxed, calm, social, confident. All that is beautiful. And this time I showed up late and I had my back to the door. And I felt a little more like I wasn't comfortable in my seat. I was a bit more
Yeah.
agitated, and I feel like this touches it very beautifully. And the second thing I want to do and say is at least brag a little that I do have indeed the door within my visibility so that I can be present, calm, and having a good time when I do these interviews.
Amazing. Yeah, and you know this rule already for quite a few years, and it has definitely attributed to your success, right?
Hmm.
So I always say it's a very easy thing. Just be aware, change your desk around. Make sure you also do not sit with your face against the wall. Make sure there's space on the other side of your desk. Just imagine there is a client sitting on the other side of your desk, even if it's an imaginary client, and even if you can put a chair there, so or two chairs. Like think about the CEO, they will have always like some chairs on the other side. So it's like you're saying, I am open to talk to a client. So if you're with your desk against the wall, you're actually hitting the wall, and there's like no space for a client to sit on the other side. So especially for people that work online, so that's like a simple change that they can make, but really improves your sales and the energy of what you bring out to the world with 11%. So that's quite a bit, right? Without doing more sales, you're actually increasing the energy of possibility and opportunities with 11%.